nor sworn deceitfully. 5 and last. And he shall receive blessings from the Lord and righteousness from the God of his salvation. Let us pray. Father, we give you thanks, glory, and honor for this morning. Lord, even the writer says summer and winter and springtime and harvest, sun, moon, and stars in their courses above, joined with all nature in manifold witness to thy great faithfulness, mercy, and love. Great is thy faithfulness. And so, Lord God, as we come in this session, this program today, Father, we ask that the spirit of excellence will be upon us, where, Lord, we will shift our focus in a direction where we are looking at sustainability of greening and all the other aspects that surround this program. Father, let your Holy Spirit be our guide, our source, our care. Lord, order our steps in your words continuously, and let the words of our mouths and the meditation, O Lord, our strength and our Redeemer. Amen.
Development Planet Unit at the University College of London and the Caribbean to the lady, the boss, the big speaker, who will be tackling this greening in TVET concept at this time. Put your hands together for her, man. Your hand clapping emojis. Come on, Heartress, you know how we do. Let her feel welcome. All right? Miss Heather, over to you, ma'am.
Morning, are you hearing me? Can somebody confirm if you're hearing me? Okay, I see somebody said yes, they're hearing me. So this morning, I'm very excited to be here to speak with you about sustainability and greening TVET and how sustainability is at the very core of our future and what we will be doing in all aspects of development going forward. So my name is Heather Pinnock, as he introduced me, and I am so happy to be here with you today. So I'm going to start with a quick definition. What is sustainable development? And there are many, many definitions of sustainable development, but I want to give you a simple one that I hope you remember always. And it's simply that it's development that meets the needs of the present, it meets our needs today without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. That means whatever we do today, we must be responsible and we must think about what we do to ensure that in the future, those who come after us also be able to do whatever they need to do in terms of development and whatever comes in the future. So how do we do this sustainable development? A really sustainable development is about finding a balance. And it's a balance of many, many things, but I'm just going to highlight the top three things. And the three things are balancing people, the planet, and profit. The three P's: people, planet, and profit. And what does this mean? It means that we have to find ways that everything we do intersects and considers people and profit in everything we do. This means we have to consider, how does it affect our society? How does it affect our people, our community, our culture, and our heritage? Also, how does it affect our planet? How does it affect our environment, our earth and its resources? And then, of course, and this is also important in business and in everything we do, how does it affect our profits? We want to be financially viable, we want to have a thriving economy, and how do we balance these three elements to make sure that together we are achieving sustainability? This triple constraint is so important to me. It is actually the logo of my company. So to tell you how much it is the core of sustainability, how does everything we do balance the three P's: people, planet, and profit? And why do we want to be sure that we are balancing people, planet, and profit? Because every year we are now reached a stage where we are using up the Earth's resources in less than a year. So the amount of resources available to us on Earth, we use it up and then some. And in fact, we have now established something called Earth Overshoot Day. Earth Overshoot Day is the day that for each year on which we have used up all the resources available to us for the year, and we are now, anything beyond that, we are now using up the resources for next year. And like I said, we want to be able to do development today, but not hinder the ability of people in the future and people to come after us from being able to do their own development. So if we pass using up one Earth's worth of resources in a year, we are actively using up the resources of the future. So Earth Overshoot Day has been tracked for a while, since the 1970s, and in 2022, Earth Overshoot Day was July 28th. That was the day on which we had used up the Earth's resources for the year, and this year, 2023, Earth Overshoot Day is scheduled for July 27th. That means that we will use up for the year 2023 1¾ Earth's worth of resources for this year. We cannot continue this way. We must find better ways. And let me take that right down to our Caribbean and very specifically our Jamaican situation. In the Caribbean and in Jamaica, 70% of our people live at or near sea level in coastal settlements. That means all of those people, 70% of our people, and 70% is a high pass mark, is it not? 70% of our people are at risk for whatever the effects are of climate change. Things like sea level rise, coastal erosion, the effects of storms and storm surge in storm and hurricane events. And then to go to storms and hurricanes, we spend 50% of our life, half of our life here in Jamaica and across the Caribbean in an active hurricane season. 50% of our lives, again, is a major pass mark. We spend half of our lives under real present and current threat of storms and hurricanes, which means it's something we need to seriously consider in every aspect of our lives and everything we do in terms of development. And then let's take that down to what we were talking about before in balancing, which is profit. 10% of our economy, equivalent to 22 billion US dollars, could be lost to climate change events by the year 2050. And that could rise to 20% by the end of the century. This picture that I've included shows you an example. This is St. Anne. It shows an example of the kinds of national investments that we have close to the sea. You see a highway, you see big housing schemes, you see a hotel, you see lots of national and private and public investment made close to the sea. This is our reality here in the Caribbean and here in Jamaica. And so we need to think about, how do we do this better? How do we respond? And how do we create a better future for ourselves and those to come after us? What are some of the effects, the expected effects of climate change here in Jamaica and across the Caribbean? We have things like sea level rise, coastal erosion, damage to our infrastructure, higher temperatures. We have increased use of energy, of water, more indoor activities because we have issues of heat and also difficult air quality outside. We have the threat of more intense storms, damage to buildings, damage to our infrastructure, and the impacts on our health. We also have, which we're currently experiencing, drought and prolonged drought. Again, we have their damaged infrastructure, the impacts on our health. And therefore, we need to think as a country, but not only as a country, but as students, as professionals who are about to go out into the world, how can we respond to these threats? We know they are threats, but being aware of them and responding to them give us opportunities not only to survive, but to find opportunities to thrive. And so I just want to touch very quickly on a campaign that the Caribbean led globally called 1.5 to Stay Alive. That was looking at what we want to cap global emissions at in terms of ensuring that climate change does not affect us in the Caribbean and the small island developing states as we go forward. There was a commitment at Conference of the Parties 2020, in Conference of the Parties 21 in the year 2015, to try to cap global emissions. However, in the years between 2015 and now, the global commitment has not met up to our expectations. It has not. And that means we have had to change our messaging. And at last year's COP, which is COP 27, 2022, we moved on from only talking about capping global emissions that would affect climate change, and instead we looked at talking about loss and damage and establishing a global fund to respond to loss and damage because of the effects that climate change is having on Jamaica and other small island developing states and other vulnerable states across the world. And this brings me now to the Sustainable Development Goals. I hope that this image is familiar to all of you, and if not, I ask you to just follow up with me so you can learn more about the Sustainable Development Goals. So Sustainable Development Goals are essentially these 17 goals that were agreed by the world and signed to by the world as goals we would try to achieve by the year 2030. It was launched in 2015, and it's a 15-year plan to look at where the world wants to go in terms of sustainability. Now, sometimes we look at this chart and we're like, these things don't apply to me. But I'm here to tell you that the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals apply to each and every one of us and in whatever kind of work and trade we do. And in fact, there was a review of these SDGs, and it identified that by achieving these SDGs, we open up US 12 trillion, not 12 million, not 12 billion, 12 trillion dollars of market opportunities in attempting to achieve these SDGs. These are the kinds of things that are going to make us money in the future. Our future is focused on sustainability, on these sustainable goals, and there's an opportunity for each of us to get a part of US $12 trillion in market opportunities by pursuing these sustainable goals. Just 4 key areas, and this is not all, but just 4 key areas. This includes food, food production, hospitality, agriculture, activities in cities, energy and materials, and health and well-being. Just those 4 areas alone can result in up to $12 trillion of market opportunities. Now, I'm sure all of you listening are very interested in the business you are doing, taking a direction that allows you to be a part of this sustainable future and the profit that can be aligned with that. So let's talk a little bit more about those business opportunities. Why do we want to align with Sustainable Development Goals, and what are those business opportunities? How would that affect us in TVET? We look at new market opportunities, ways to set yourself apart in the market, including accessing new and emerging markets. Also, being attractive to employees. There are a lot of employees who are aligned with more sustainable things in the future, and more sustainable choices, more sustainable purchasing, more sustainable living in general. As I said, as I was introduced, I promote this not only in business, not only in construction and real estate, which is my core business, but in every aspect of your life. And so this is something that people are looking for business opportunities. We can look at every single step in the supply chain and how we build resilience and sustainability into the supply chain of all our business opportunities. Then there is the possibility of attracting new and varied investors that we had never considered before, because we have investment opportunities that are opening up in all kinds of sustainable markets. And most importantly, that we have the opportunity to move to the front of the line, to be ahead of the curve by being aware and responding to the sustainability needs that will help us to have a better future. And finally, I want to just talk very quickly about circular economy. Circular economy is something people have been speaking about a lot in relation to sustainability, and I think it's important that I just touch on that this morning. The key difference between what we have now, which is a linear economy, where we take from the environment, we make things, we use them and dispose of them. The key difference with a circular economy is that instead of simply going a single line where you take, make, and use and dispose, you instead have a circle where everything has value and there is no away. So you don't throw away things because there's no away. There's no country, there's no location called away. Everything we throw away is still there. Things that we used to dispose of, find ways to reuse them, to transform them and use them again. And so the circular economy looks at how we can target sustainability in every aspect of the work we do. How can we find new opportunities and new things to use? And I just want to touch on that very quickly, because I think it's so important that we move not just from sustainability, but to understanding how our role in the society and in the economy can be improved in everything we do. And finally, I want to just touch on some facts around green jobs and why we want to green TVET. So there are 1.2 billion jobs. 40% of the global workforce depend on us to have healthy ecosystems, that's a healthy environment and a stable environment, in order for their jobs to exist. So there is value in protecting our environment and in finding ways to work sustainably with our environment and our society, of course. Second point I want to make. Climate change and the protection of the environment are the top personal concern of Generation Z in 2021. That means our young people, our future purchasers, our future buyers, our future clients are very interested in climate change, the effect climate change has, and how the work that we do can better protect the environment going forward into the future. And finally, an additional 8.4 million jobs globally could be created for young people ages 15 to 29 by the year 2030 as a result of transitioning to more green operations, looking at how we can do things in a more green and responsible way. So I'm going to bring that back very quickly to Jamaica. Here in Jamaica, we have a lot of sustainability activities going on, a lot of sustainability opportunities. We see things like wind and solar farms are looking at alternative energy. We're seeing sustainability being brought into our hospitality industry in terms of hotels, in terms of other parts of hospitality. This example here is the Courtyard Marriott in New Kingston beside Emancipation Park. It is our first LEED certified building in Jamaica. It was LEED certified in 2017, and it's LEED certified for energy and atmosphere, indoor air quality, and water efficiency. And this was a big achievement for us here in Jamaica. But we don't rest on our laurels. Right now, we have other hotels going through the process of looking at reaching sustainable standards. We have supermarkets and even a lab going through that process. Up at the University of West Indies, there is now a net zero energy building to show us how buildings can exist by creating as much energy as they use. And that's a whole new world of looking at how we use energy and how we interact with energy and all the opportunities around that. With COVID-19 has caused us to give some thought to the response to that, to think about things like indoor air quality, how do we do touch services, what kind of, how do we interact with spaces, and what are some of the things we have learned from COVID-19 pandemic that we can then also introduce into our society and our work. And then we have electric vehicles and a lot of other exciting things happening in Jamaica. So these are not things that's happening out there in the world, lots of exciting things happening here at home. However, I just want to say that even for all the new and exciting things, there are many things that we have known and have known about sustainability for a long time. Traditional sustainability can be shown to us in many ways of things that we do. This little house looks like a simple little country house, but it has so many features of sustainability thought into it, designed into it, and why it has survived all these years is because there was thought of sustainability. So I just want to leave you with the point that sustainability might not only be fancy new things, but it may also be very much rooted in the things we already know, the things we know about how we respond to our environment, to our climate, to our society already, and how we bring those things into the work that we do. So I end with, do the best you can until you know better, and when you know better, do better. I thank you so much. My name is Heather Pinnock. Feel free to contact me and link with me on LinkedIn. I thank you so much today.
All right, thank you very much, Miss Heather Pinnock. I am looking for the hand clapping emojis, you know. Can I see the hand clapping emojis going up? What a powerful presentation. So listen now, Miss Heather, I want you to put a question together for the heart team, you know, because I told them that I have prizes and I have surprises. So I wanted to craft a nice little question for a water bottle level question I wanted to put together.
Okay, I would love for somebody to say how they think they could bring sustainability and the Sustainable Development Goals to the work that they do, what they're studying, the courses that they're doing. What do they think is one example of bringing sustainability into that work?
All right, we like that. All right, technical team, you can allow for the participants, I think, to unmute and respond to that. All right, so you can raise your hand. Come on, man, we have 114 attendees. You know, and I know all of us can answer that question. We are all accustomed to the idea of greening in TVET. And we are now going to have just a little, you know, what the presenter wants some feedback. So let's provide some feedback. You might have to ask that question. We have two hands. Let's go. All right, I'm not seeing the hands on my screen, but team, could you allow the person to unmute and go ahead? All right, Jordan? Jordan? ACDC, okay. All right, the team member from ACDC, you can go ahead. And then I think Jordan, I see Jordan also. Oh, they're closed. It's locked still. Yeah, they're locked. All right, Miss Pinnock, just give us 1 second. We're trying to unmute the persons here. All right, could the person type their response in the chat? And I'll do my best to read it. We're having some challenges unmuting the attendees. I'm not seeing the chat. I can't see it here. All right, so we have an answer coming in. Miss Heather, Miss Pinnock, I'm going to tell you. So I'm going to get the information. Talk to me, team. What's the response? Using less paper and recycle the items that we are currently using.
That's a good one. That's a good start.
That's from? Oh, we don't know. Could the person who wrote that in the chat just AM? Oh, all right. We want to work with that one, or you want another one, Miss Pinnock?
Let's take one more.
All right, let's hear another response. Feedback time. Come on, Heart NSTA Trust. Let's go. Oh, Lord, I see a long one coming up. All right.
See, someone wrote about Sustainable Development Goal 12 in some detail there in the chat.
Yes, I'm trying to bring it up. It says, good morning. I do not have a mic, hence the use of the chat for Sustainable Development Goal number 12. I believe less printing, reduce use of paper, switching off lights and other office equipment. I believe this will contribute to this goal. That's from, okay, I see from Hart College of Hospitality Services, harvesting rainwater. I see from Miss Deidrean Messam, reduce the use of paper and recycle what the items that we're using. All right.
These are all good, but I want to just encourage everybody to think about how the work they do every day. So people like in hospitality, what are the things that you do every day in hospitality that you could do in a more sustainable way? And that's everything from electricity to the products, to where you get the products, how you dispose of the products, how you use water. I just want to make it clear that it is everything about the work you do. Everything you do, you can do in a more sustainable way. And so that's just my parting shot. I would like you to think about how every single thing you do every day could be done in a slightly more sustainable way. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Pinnock. We truly appreciate that presentation, and I'm sure it has left an indelible mark on all the persons who are on this platform. Thank you very much, ma'am. Wonderful presentation. Now, I have a good friend who is the director principal for the Ebony Park Academy, Mr. Calvin Weiss. Good MC, good keynote speaker. And I've in some of his, when he's master of ceremony, he loves to say that he has the real program. You know, that his program is the real program. And today I want to say to you that my program is the real program. So I'm looking in my email and I see where a program was sent out from marketing and communications, but we had to make some adjustments. And so I wanted to pay keenly to what I am articulating and not so much the program that you received. The woman that is about to speak to you now is someone that I deeply admire and have great respect for. When it comes on to scholarly studies, when it comes on to, you're talking about learning resources and training material, she is truly knowledgeable. She has been given the opportunity at this time to lead NTPD. She is no other than our Deputy Managing Director, Acting Dr. Marcia Rowe Amonde. So without further ado, I want you to put your hands together for our Deputy Managing Director Acting at this time. Put your hands together for her as she speaks to us. Dr. Amonde, over to you, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Brown, thank you for such a warm welcome. Colleagues, a pleasant good morning to you all. I'm very sorry I did not come on at the beginning. I was having some technical challenges, but nevertheless, I'm here and I just want to extend a warm welcome to you. Thanks for joining. It shows that you're really committed to this cause. When we come together and we want to be a part of the conversation and talk how we can move workforce development forward and get our young people, get our trainees, get our adults ready for the world of work, it's really a valuable activity. So a pleasant good morning and welcome. Welcome to my team members from heart. Welcome to all the external persons who are here. Welcome to our guest speaker who is online and will be introduced to you a little later. Today we are just taking some time to talk about greening, an important part of the TVET agenda, even as we reposition TVET to go into new frontiers and to get our young people and adults ready for a digital world, ready for a global world. I remember one of my first introductions to this idea of sustainable development when I was having a conversation with some team members, and it was described to me in this way, that's using an African proverb. Sustainable development means enough for all. And so we have that in mind, where we recognize that TVET or various programs, they draw heavily on resources. They draw heavily on raw materials. Some were mentioned to you earlier. I heard Ms. Pinnock mention hospitality. We see it in construction. We see it also in agriculture. TVET does draw on resources heavily. So it has an economic agenda where it prepares our young people and adults for work. It has a social agenda where we address the needs of at-risk youth so that we can reduce some of the psychosocial issues. And it also has what we are talking about today, a sustainability environmental agenda. Sustainable development is really the focus on the kind of development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. It's been driven by a number of factors, and some were mentioned to you earlier on. Climate change figures very prominently. Food insecurity is also one of them. Shrinking productivity is another factor. I don't know, some of you may have watched the movie Plastic Ocean, and I think it's a very powerful movie documentary that tells us what is happening to the environment because of plastic. It really speaks to me to the heart of the issue, where what we are talking about when it comes on to protecting the environment is about, where we have over 300 million tons of plastic, only a fraction we are recycling, and much of it remains on our lands and in our seas. So we really need, this is a very important, relevant topic in our world today. So as we talk about greening, we need to look at the efforts we need to make in our policies, in our various procedures, in our training programs to reorient our TVET institutions in order to have environmental protection, to restore our natural resources, to use resources efficiently, to talk about sustainable consumption patterns. So as we are looking at our construction programs, we say to our trainees, how can you dispose of the waste in a responsible way? How can you use the cement and other building materials efficiently so that they do not harm the environment? So these are the conversations we need to have as we talk about our programs and how we can input greening. As I said, we will need the input, and we do need the input of our institutional leaders, our policymakers, our employers, because oftentimes we will help to develop the skills in the trainees, but when they go into the world of work, they come up with another experience. They are not getting opportunities to practice what they have learned. As an organization, we are committed to greening. This is one example. We have seminars where we build the capacity of our various TVET professionals. We are also promoting green careers. So the career development unit focuses on getting across to our trainees an awareness of the various careers out there, and like recycling plant technician, solar panel installation technicians, drone engineers. These all draw on greening skills. We are also promoting some greening programs like our water harvesting programs. We have our institutions like the Hart College of Hospitality, where I am now, here for a meeting, and we have gotten Green Globe certified, showing that the resources that we are using, like electricity and water, are being used in a responsible way. Yesterday, some of my team members from the finance department, as part of their social responsibility project, they went out and they planted trees. This is an indication that we are all on board and we are united by a common agenda to really integrate greening in our programs and in our policies. I know many of you, like me, we like the Beatles, Paul McCartney, and he has given a very useful quote that I find quite useful. It's simple, but it speaks to the heart of greening. It says, there must be a better way to make the things we want, a way that doesn't spoil the sky or the rain or the land. So we want to look at our own Jamaica, and to use one common line from one of our poems, I saw my land in the morning and behold, it was fair, because we have made attempts to really preserve the environment and to develop that consciousness among our people. So I want to wish for you a very engaging webinar. Ask the question, stimulate your consciousness, and let us be committed to go forward to using TVET to make changes where sustainable development is concerned. So over to you, Mr. Brown, and I wish for you a very inspiring and engaging session. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Amonde Rowe, very articulate, always bringing together the points that count. Thank you very much for joining. Now, folks, we have another presenter, a gentleman that I am absolutely sure will be extremely engaging. And so our next presenter is Mr. Markland Murphy. Mr. Murphy is the research and outreach coordinator with responsibility for special projects at the College of Agriculture, Science and Education, an engineer, information technology specialist, innovator, and a meticulous problem solver. Mr. Murphy is a graduate from the Vrije University of Brussels in Belgium, where he received a master in applied science and engineering, applied computer science, and also holds a first degree in engineering with an emphasis, it seems, in electrical power. Oh, I got it. Let me fix it. Electrical power with a first-class honors from the University of Technology, Jamaica. Folks, we have a big speaker. We have someone who is extremely educated and affair with what's happening now, especially in agriculture, and some of the organic practices that are necessary to fuel this greening in TVET, transforming the future of Jamaica into this green economy. Without further ado, I am going to turn over to you, the man, Mr. Markland Murphy. Mr. Murphy, over to you, boss. Let's go.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. After that kind of introduction, I mean, what can I say? I mean, very appreciative of the words of encouragement. Right. So good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Heart Greening TVET webinar. The presentation today that I'm doing is on transition to digital agriculture, a new era for sustainable food production. And as mentioned, my name is Martin Murphy, and I will be your presenter today. All right, so as the world population continues to grow, right, so does the demand for food. This demand puts pressure on the agricultural sector to produce more food with limited resources. And here in Jamaica, I mean, I'm hoping you have heard the recent news that our food import bill continues to grow. Therefore, it is imperative to optimize the use of available resources to ensure sustainable food production. The best way, or the best and the most meaningful way to get there is to transition to digital agriculture. So let me get into more details of our presentation. What is digital agriculture? Why is it necessary for us to transition to digital agriculture? Digital agriculture is the use of technology to improve agricultural efficiency, productivity, and sustainability. It includes various technologies such as precision agriculture, drones, sensors, big data analytics. These technologies help farmers to monitor their crops, soil, and weather condition, and even more critically, help them to make data-driven decisions in order to maximize yield and reduce waste. Let's discuss these technologies in more detail. So let's take a deeper look at precision agriculture. Precision agriculture refers to the use of technology that helps farmers to manage their fields in a more precise and accurate manner. Now, for instance, it enables farmers to apply fertilizer and pesticide precisely where and when it's needed. And of course, based on soil and crop conditions, right? What this does, it reduces the risk of overuse of chemicals and minimizes the environmental impact. Every, and I repeat it, every inch of a farmer's field, is rich in meaningful data. Right? Whether it leads to productive aspect or unproductive, it is still very much rich in data. Therefore, the technologies used ranges from sensors to monitor and measure, robotics for precision application in inputs such as fertilizers, pesticides, and seeds, right? It also includes technologies such as remote sensing, whether it is satellite images that you're using to inform you as to what is happening on the farm. Now, looking at the precision agriculture cycle, the very first step is to understand your field by collecting reliable information. Now, the data acquired, or you could consider it data acquisition phase, entails gathering as much data as possible about your crops, the soil, the fields, the terrain, the climate. I mean, there's so many other things that you can collect data on in order to allow you to be more efficient and effective, right? Therefore, the acquisition of this data provides us information to help us to look deeply at the challenges that we face and help us to drive or to result in better decision making, which produce better yield. All right, so that speaks to precision agriculture. My apologies. That speaks to precision agriculture. Next, we need to look at sensors and drone technology. Drones in agriculture are here to stay. And I know this is something that the younger generation gets very excited about. But drones are here to stay, and especially drones in agriculture are here to stay. The use of drone in agriculture has increased worldwide, with reports that the agricultural drone market is expected to grow from US $1.2 billion in 2018 to US $4.8 billion by the year 2024. How is drone used, or how is drone technology used in agriculture? Here are several ways that it's used: for crop surveillance, to drone field monitoring, for planting and seeding, for spraying treatment, for security, livestock management. It's telling you the vast areas that drone technology is now covering. So let's look at a few, right? Let's start with crop surveillance. In use, it is used in the supervision of crop progress. That is from the time that seeds are, my apologies, from the time that seeds are planted, right, to the time of harvest. The drones are equipped with special imaging equipment called Normalized Difference Vegetation Index. Now, this specific index indicates that the plant's health with detailed color information as is seen in the image here, right? Next one we look at will be drone field monitoring. Now, it is difficult for farmers to manage large areas of land, and that is increasingly becoming a challenge for farmers to manage these large areas, right? So the agricultural drone can be used, or regular drones can be used as well, right, for monitoring the health of the soil and the field condition, right? The drones provide accurate information, right, which includes the elevation information, likely of the land, so you can see and understand clearly and find any irregularities in the field. All right. Next, I'll look at spray treatment, which is another important one, because drone sprayers save workers from having to navigate the field with backpack sprayers, which is, and I repeat it, which is very hazardous to their health, right? Therefore, these specific drone sprayers deliver very fine spray application, right, that can be targeted to specific areas to maximize efficiency and save chemical costs. And then I'll just look at security. Monitoring the area, and of course, this is a large problem for us here in Jamaica. It's a huge problem which we always have to be thinking about predator larceny with agriculture, and that still remains. But with the drones, now you can be thinking about monitoring the area, right? And you can use your drones to cover large mass of land without, in a short space of time, right? There's also the use of drones to locate equipment or locate missing or injured animals on a farm, right? So these are the vast amount of use that drone technologies are currently being applied to in agriculture. All right, so the final technology to discuss is big data analytics. And here we go. Technologies based on the Internet of Things. And I hope you have some amount of familiarity with that term, because it's a term that you will start hearing or should have heard for some time now. Internet of Things and cloud computing are becoming commonplace in today's society. Internet of Things sensors are now used in tractors, loaders, seeding equipment, sprayers, plants, and even in the very soil itself, right? Big data analytics, everybody, can help farmers to analyze large volume of data from multiple sources, such as weather patterns, soil health, and market trend, right? This kind of information can be used to predict crop yield, right? Optimize irrigation and fertilizer use, and make very much, and I would say possibly the most significant thing, make informed decision about planting and harvesting. Now look at the phases as to how do we get to the application of Internet of Things devices. First phase is having those devices and using them and having and collecting correct data using these devices. Once you start having that mass of data, then the second phase is now to analyze that large amount of data, meaning make sense of it, trying to put it into some frame that allows you to see what is happening with the farm, right? And then you have the next phase, which you now have to look at patterns and insights that you will gain, right? From literally utilizing data or interpreting this large mass of data. The critical things that are used today is artificial intelligence and machine learning, and these are now common occurrence in many other fields and in many other industries, that decisions are made based on artificial intelligence and the use of machine learning, right? And agriculture should be thought of just the same, that we incorporate these advanced technologies in what we do in order to improve our efficiency. Finally, we must look at the benefits and opportunities of transitioning to digital agriculture, right? It starts from the very smallest level on the farm, right? And that is literally looking at how the farmer makes his decision. How, for instance, how the farmer allows himself to increase his productivity and profitability, giving him real-time information, right? Improving record keeping on the farm, right? And that itself will transition to industry level benefits, right? And once you start looking at industry level benefits, some of those are improved industry decision making. Some of those are improved quality control and assurance, right? And then it will trigger and filter down or expand to the entire society, in which we can now have better informed policies. We can now be looking at deeper work to be done in agriculture in terms of R&D, that is research and development, right? So it's saying to you that the level of work that needs to be done in transitioning to digital agriculture is very large. And digitization comes with the need for more transparency and openness for true, and I say it, for true collaboration to exist in our society. So therefore, universities, college, HARP, must work together to find solutions to our challenges. Sectors, both private and public sectors, must see the need to collaborate for the overall benefit of the nation. And I'm saying this and as somebody who's deeply involved in technology, that the technological advances are ever changing and ever increasing, and no one individual or one entity can master all areas. Therefore, we need that true collaborative spirit and approach to remain relevant in today's world. So in conclusion, everyone, the transition to digital agriculture is a significant step towards sustainable food production, right? So it enables the farmers to optimize the use of resources, increase productivity, and reduce waste. So therefore, this morning, let us brace ourselves to the transition to digital agriculture. Thank you very much for listening, and thank you very much for joining us. And I'm really imploring you to join us in the transition to digital agriculture as we progress. So thank you very much, and Please enjoy the rest of the webinar.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Mark Land Murphy. A very informed gentleman, very potent presentation. I am sure that the team here at the Heart NSTA Trust would have garnered, we would have learned a lot from the information that you just articulated to us. Like the first presenter though, Mr. Murphy, I want you to create a question. Yes, man, I want you to create a question and I want you to ask the team at heart. You see, I like how the emojis are going up and the hand clapping without me asking you to put your hand clapping emojis together. You see that they mean it. We not beg them, Mr. Murphy.
That is a good one.
Yes, man. They are sincere.
I think I have a question. Hopefully it's not difficult for the participants to respond to. Name one brand and model of a drone. Should be reasonable.
Yes, man. One brand and model. I have a drone, so.
But you're excluded.
All right, so let me look here. Let me see what's going on. We have any hands up? Come on, man. Come on. One brand. All right. Yes, K. Marine Davis. All right, Miss Davis, could you just type it in the chat? All right, let me see what Miss Davis is typing now. Miss Davis? Looking in the chat. Okay, this is what? Look, is this Nehemi?
Okay, here's a nice one.
Yes.
I hope you're seeing that one. DJI Air 25.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a nice one. DJI is one of the...
You think she deserves the gift even though she gets it right?
Yes, I do think so.
All right, no problem. So Miss Davis, someone will communicate you from the technical team, and we will tell you exactly how you can collect your prize. Mr. Mark, big up yourself and thank you very much, sir.
Very much appreciative of the time and the audience participation in
it's the best audience at the Heart NSTA.
I absolutely agree.
Right here.
And the best host.
All right, boss. Big up.
All the best.
Yes, man. Thank you. All right, so we were looking at the participants list and the attendees, and I realized that we have some very important people online on this platform. So myself and Mr. Robert A. Green and the team that's in-house, we went to and I don't hope we didn't miss anybody, but we picked out a few people that we saw. So we just want to pick up some of our directors that are online right now. Of course, I have to start with my boss, Dr. Sasha Shimyu. I want to pick up Dr. Shimyu. Of course, we want to saw our senior programs director, ACDC, Ms. Marsha Grant. Big up yourself, Ms. Grant. I saw also Ms. Cecilia Davey. Big up yourself, Ms. Davey. I looked and I saw Ms. Christine Edwards. Much respect to you. And of course, I saw Ms. Stacy Kane Davis. I also saw another regional director from way over there in Region 3. I think they're the first region this year to meet their certification and enrollment. Big up yourself, Miss Odette Brown. I also looked and I saw the boss, the man over there running the Portmore Heart Academy, College of Construction Services, Mr. O'Neill James, and of course, Mr. Calvin Weiss, who is leading the charge at the Ebony Park Academy. I want to thank you all for joining. It shows that we are interested in developing the Heart NSTA Trust. We're interested having some 3 to 5 minute presentations, video presentations. And I can tell you, I saw a sneak peek of some of these presentations, and they were extremely intriguing. And so the program is about to take another level. And if you have persons in the office who have not joined, I am telling you now, call them, send them an email, and let them know that they need to join this program, because we are about to turn up the thing a little higher. And listen, you see how well those presenters did, our guest speaker and our presenter, Mr. Markland Murphy. You see how well they did? We're moving into another phase where we are going to look at green business. We're going to look at organic farming, reducing carbon footprint. We're going to look at greening, converting waste, stimulating taste, while maximizing space. Come on now, you know that's from Ebony Park. Hey, big, I like that. So we're going to move into the first 3 to 5 minute video in this segment of the program, and it will be done by Miss Bethune Morgan. She will be presenting on green business. She is the manager of the pollution prevention branch at NEPA. So get ready to be blown away. Over to you, tech team. This is a video presentation.
Good morning. I'm Bethune Morgan of the National Environment and Planning Agency, lead agency with the mandate for environmental protection and natural resource management. Today, I'm going to provide ideas as to how technical and vocational education and training can be an engine for transformational green growth. Green your vocation for a greener nation. The agency has the Green Business Jamaica program, and this program is designed to help businesses practice good environmental stewardship in an effort to reduce
coming. You know, when you have great things, sometimes you have to wait a little bit.
This program has 5 thematic areas.
So it's coming. Team is sorting it out. While they're putting together the video presentation, while they're working on that, I want to just greet all our viewers who are on YouTube and Facebook. We're happy that you're on. Ensure to share this webinar, that we can start to sensitize the population of this country to what's happening and how the economy is being transformed and what are the possibilities. This can help to inform career paths for our young people, allowing them to secure their future by going into careers that have longevity and growth. And so we're happy that you're on. We're happy that you're engaged. I know you're engaged. You know, I don't have to worry about that. All right, so we're getting up the video now, and we'll be playing that. All right, so just give us a second. You know what I'm going to do while we're waiting? I am going to ask a question, and I am going to go back to the first presentation that was made from Miss Pinnock. And this is the question: what percentage of Caribbean people live at or near sea level in coastal settlements? No, man. No, you guys are really listening. That was quick. Hello. Nobody else needs to answer. We have enough answers. No, as if somebody says 70%. No. Let me see. The amount of 70% this year, Mr. Green, I am confused. Help me find the first one. Okay, Miss Katharina Bennett, big up to you. You got it right. It is 70%. All right, I hope that somebody does state down that name or a prize. Team, we're ready for the video? All right, I had another question, but I'm going to ask it after from our first presentation. Let me see if you really did listen. We have to represent all the time in the heart in the stages. So I'm hoping that you'll answer quickly as you did that 70%. All right. So at this time, we're going to move to our video presentation from NEPA from Miss Bethune Morgan. Over to you, Tech Team.
Good morning. I'm Bethune Morgan of the National Environment and Planning Agency, lead agency with the mandate for environmental protection and natural resource management. Today, I'm going to provide ideas as to how technical and vocational education and training can be an engine for transformational green growth. Green your vocation for a greener nation. The agency has the Green Business Jamaica program, and this program is designed to help businesses practice good environmental stewardship in an effort to reduce negative impacts on the environment. Now, this program has 5 thematic areas: environmental awareness and training, water and energy efficiency, waste management, and chemical management. Now, here you will see some of the companies that are a part of this program. It goes from food, concessionaires to hotels, and even the Passport Immigration and Citizenship Agency. So as you can see, entities within which your professions will be suited are capable of being green businesses, and so are you. Here we see children. We have early childhood education as part of the heart training. And so with the children, we can start that message of greening, but not just the kids. Here we see some waste bins, and they are bins from a hair salon. The kids. Here we see some waste bins, and they are bins from a hair salon. So it has waste streams that are generated in the salon, inclusive of a hair bin, paper, plastic, and metals. Now with the plastics, we see where they can be used for construction of furniture for a play park. See the kids on the rock climber.
All right, so the video is we're working out the dynamics of that on the back end. We're having some challenges,
furniture, table,
and so
seating,
we are going to move to another
that
presentation that I think will really
be
have some impact, and then come back
here we see tires being used
video
again as a
presentation.
table. We see it being used
And
as a
so
bin.
the presentation
For
that we're
hanging
about
plants.
to
Whatever you
listen
can
to
imagine,
will be
use
from
a waste
Mr.
item
Neil
material for.
Curtis, Executive
relates to
Director
food waste,
for
the
Farm Up
hospitality
Jamaica
industry
Limited.
is needing
And let me tell you
food
something,
as a
man.
prime
I know
input.
that this
Let's
presentation,
plan for this.
from you hear the name
Let's
of it,
cut back on
organic
waste
farming,
produced
reducing
by
carbon
planning and
footprint,
purchasing
you know it is really going to be one of those
Those of us who are
presentations
going to
to
be using
remember.
machinery,
And I want to say to my folks from the Ebony Park
lighting,
Academy that this presentation, while it is for everybody, it's for you. And we want to see how best we can incorporate concepts that will be presented to us from the presentation if they are not implemented already. Because I know the team at Ebony Park Academy, they are on top of their game. They're leading the charge as it relates to organic farming or anything innovative in TVET. So at this time, I am going to turn over to Mr. Neil Curtis as he makes his presentation at this time. Mr. Curtis.
water conservation and efficiency goes a far way in greening your business, greening your approach. Here we see water efficient landscaping.
Mr. Curtis.
This is landscaping using grey water. That's water from the sinks. It doesn't have to be clean out with NWC water. And then we see
Mr. Curtis is having some challenges here, man.
toilets,
Mr. Curtis, don't worry yourself.
faucets that are going to allow you as well to conserve water.
Mr. Curtis.
Renewable energy, wind and solar. We're talking about greening. These are professions that we're going to need more professionals in. And so here is an area for expansion of our program if it hasn't already done so. And as you embark on your businesses, seek to use renewable energy as part of your
Alright, we're still waiting on Mr. Curtis also.
encourage
If anything good in it, usually take time. Nothing good just happens overnight.
technology
And so sometimes when the good things are coming, it's usually a process. And so we're going through the process. We've been working on it, and we're getting it together now. Alright, so just give us a second. Working in it out. Keep working in it out.
critical to adaptation
Unmute. All right. So well worked. Well worked in our presentation. Because I can tell you, we have four. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. We have four powerful presentations coming your way. And listen, 132 participants. I don't want anybody to go anywhere. If anything should be happening, that number should be increasing. And so while we wait on the tech team to work out the technical things on the back end, we are going to work. We are going to answer some questions on the front end. So now, let's go back to Miss Heather Pinnock's presentation. She mentioned the 3 P's of sustainable development. Can anyone tell me what are the 3 P's of sustainable development? Come on, Trust. You're in a class. Zico Ziggy Brown is your instructor. Let's go. Let's go. You know, we're going to the 3 P's of sustainable development. Borland. Alright, can we jot down that name? We have to make contact with Miss Davian Borland. People, and could anybody check on Facebook, Instagram? Let's know what's going on Facebook, YouTube, and see if we have anybody there. And even if the first person who answered on that platform, we see how best we can provide a gift also. Alright, folks, thank you for that. I see that you guys are listening to what's happening. Alright, so let me just check with the team to see how far we are now with getting the videos for the presentation. Alright.
Of the National Environment and Planning Agency, lead agency with the
All right, folks, so we have worked it out in the back end. So at this time, I want you to listen keenly to the presentation from Miss Bethune Morgan on green business. All right, green business. Over to you, Tech Team.
Good morning. I'm Bethune Morgan of the National Environment and Planning Agency, lead agency with the mandate for environmental protection and natural resource management. Today, I'm going to provide ideas as to how technical and vocational education and training. Good morning. I'm Bethune Morgan of the National Environment and Planning Agency, lead agency with the mandate for environmental protection and natural resource. Good morning. I'm Bethune Morgan of the National Environment and Planning Agency, lead agency with the mandate for environmental protection and natural resource management. Today, I'm going to provide ideas as to how technical and vocational education and training can be an engine for transformational green growth. Green your vocation for a greener nation. The agency has a Green Business Jamaica program, And this program is designed to help businesses practice good environmental stewardship in an effort to reduce negative impacts on the environment. Now, this program has 5 thematic areas: environmental awareness and training, water and energy efficiency, waste management, and chemical management. Now, here you will see some of the companies that are a part of this program. It goes from food, concessionaires to hotels, and even the Passport Immigration and Citizenship Agency. So as you can see, entities within which your professions will be suited are capable of being green businesses, and so are you. Here we see children. We have early childhood education as part of the heart training. And so with children, we can start that message of greening, but not just the kids. Here we see some waste bins, and they are bins from a hair salon. So it has waste streams that are generated in the salon, inclusive of a hair bin, paper, plastic, and metals. Now with the plastics, we see where they can be used for construction of furniture for a play park. See the kids on the rock climber? We also see where the bottles are being used for furniture, table, seating, and you can imagine that there are a variety of things in the construction industry that these can be used as materials for. Here we see tires being used again as a table, we see being used as a bin, and we see it for hanging plants. But whatever you can imagine, you can use a waste item material for it. As it relates to food waste, the hospitality industry is needing food as a prime input. Let's plan for this. Let's cut back on waste produced by planning and purchasing appropriately. Those of us who are going to be using machinery, auto mechanics, lighting, possibly plumbing, use oil. Any fluid, lubricants that is generated, let us store it, let us not allow it to go to ground, to waterways. Those of us who are in the painting sector, construction sector, let's choose those paints wisely. Paints without heavy metals, paints without volatile organic compounds, adhesives, let's choose them wisely as well. There are environmentally friendly ones. And as it requires cleaning at times, let us use vinegar. It doesn't have to be a harsh chemical such as bleach or something acidic or alkali. Water conservation and efficiency goes a far way in greening your business, greening your approach. Here we see water efficient landscaping, and this is landscaping using grey water. That's water from the sinks. It doesn't have to be clean out with any of the busy water. And then we see faucets, low flush toilets, and we see aerated faucets that are going to allow you as well to conserve water use. Renewable energy, wind and solar. We're talking about greening. These are professions that we're going to need more professionals in. And so here is an area for expansion of our arts program. It hasn't already done so. And as you embark on your businesses, seek to use renewable energy as part of your energy supply. Encourage your clients to use energy-saving devices, equipment, inverter technology, LED lighting, and when you go to purchase your vehicle, purchase electric. Heart is a critical entity in facilitating the transition to a green economy. Critical to adaptation processes by the labor force. Critical for bridging the skill gap. That in energy efficiency, renewable energy, renovation of buildings, environmental services, and manufacturing. But the biggest impact heart can make is also becoming a green business in the GBJ program. Heart, take up the challenge, not just to teach, but to act and lead in the manner you can. Thank you.
All right. Green business. I know we had some challenges probably with that video, but there are what it means when we talk about green business. And so we want to ensure that our trainees have the understanding that they are affair with the green business opportunities, that when they even think about entrepreneurship, they understand the green practices that can be associated, and so they can build sustainable businesses that will impact our economy in a major way. While Miss Bethune Morgan is not here, I want to thank her in her absence for the video presentation that she sent to us. Oh, I'm hearing that she's online. All right, big up yourself, Miss Morgan. Thank you very much for your presentation. The entire Heart NSTA Trust team appreciates it, and I am sure that we would have garnered information that will help when we're delivering content that is associated with business, and in this context, green business. So we want to move directly. Into the second presentation. Oh, Miss Morgan, you online?
Yes, I am.
All right. Glad to have you, man. So here, what you're going to do for me? You're online. You have to ask a question now. I've been asking all the presenters, all the speakers, and you're going to see how bright. Hey, I'll be a bright people work hard, and I'll be a bright student as well.
Okay.
Trainees. So I wanted to ask a question to the team.
Okay. Well, green businesses. The program is built on 5 thematic areas. And if anyone could name 2 to 3, then I'd say they deserve a prize. 5
All right, so ask that question one more time. We can hear somebody say, oh, what she say? I wonder if... So just for those persons, ask that question one more time.
The Green Business Jamaica program, it has 5 thematic components that the businesses are assessed on. And if you could name 2 to 3 of those, then you'd be deserving of a prize.
Let's go. Team Heart, you got the information. So I'm going into the chat. Only 2 of the 5, right? You know what happened? Let me give the team a chance, because I know we had some challenges with the presentation, and I don't know if... Come on now. Somebody's always there to save the day. All right, Ms. Terry Ranglin. She said water conservation, renewable energy, and organic farming.
Yes, she would have gotten, yes, because the 5 thematic areas, environmental awareness and training, water efficiency, energy efficiency, waste management, and chemical management.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Ranglin, big up yourself. You're give us a seat. All right, big up yourself. Thank you very much, Ms. Morgan, for joining and for sending that presentation. All right, much respect to you. All right, so I spoke to the tech team. I talked to the tech team, and them said them sort out the video situation. So I think we're good for a year. All right, I think we're good for a year. So them say things sort out, so the program can flow how it's supposed to flow. So let's go. We have 3 remaining presentations. One from Hart College of Hospitality Services, the other from Kenilworth Academy, in collaboration with Mr. Neil Curtis, Executive Director of Paramount Jamaica Limited. And the last one is coming from Region 6, which is my region. Hey, big up yourself in the Region 6. We have a presentation from the Ebony Park Academy and the Old Harbor VTC. This presentation will be done by the one and only Mr. Calvin Weiss, Director Principal. So we are going to run those presentations. So we'll be starting with Hart College of Hospitality Services. We'll be hearing from Ms. Kenisha Walcott, the Environmental Officer and environmental officer / instructor. And the presentation will surround the journey to Green Globe Gold. Let's go, Hart College of Hospitality Services. Let's go. Oh, the presentation is here. Come start practicing after me give the big speech a while ago. So it's right here. Let's go.
At the Hart College of Hospitality Services. We are located in the cool hills of Cardiff in Bay St. Anne. We are a government-owned entity which provides holistic hospitality training. As a property which caters to a wide clientele, we recognize that our carbon footprint can be remarkably high if we do not implement measures to reduce this. Hence, in 2003, the property gained the Green Globe certification, and in 2005, we won the Caribbean Sustainable Tourism Award. These certifications have provided the guidance in us operating environmentally friendly and sustainably. I, however, must point out that this has been a journey with ups and downs, but through it all, we have conquered and are presently recipients of the Green Globe Gold Certificate. This we have achieved through various policies, procedures, and operational changes. We will now highlight some of our best practices.
Welcome to our vegetable and herb garden. We recycle here as well because we would have used the old baths from our hotel bathrooms and filled these up with soil as well as composting material and plant or seedling in them. As you can see, we have Irish potatoes, chives, dill, mint, tomato. We also have our tires that some of them we use as is, some we have turned to create a design in order to also add to the aesthetic appeal of the space, and planted our herbs and spices. There's scallion, mint, and we tend to use the color mint a lot. And points to note also is that we utilize our plastic bottles as labels. So instead of buying labels or that sort of thing, we would have the fact that we have such a diverse clientele, we would have had a lot of plastic bottles. While we would have recycled or placed some in our recycling cage, we still utilize some, repurpose some, and you will have seen right here where we use them to make signs. So just in case you are not familiar what these herbs and spices look like out in the field, it's also an educational it's also for educational purpose. Over here as well, we have our little garden as well. We have lettuce inside here, different types of lettuce actually. And you will have seen some pants that persons would have outgrown. And to note, the checkered pants is also what our chefs in training would use. So it also speaks to what we do here. So we have planted in them as well, filled it up with plant material and planted in them. And this is not the first we have seen where the plants actually do flourish in them. So this is basically another way of doing container gardening. Part of operating environmentally friendly is also targeting our energy usage. And we have come a long way in terms of what we use in providing our light for the property. So we have here a mercury bulb flood lamp. This used to be what was used as a floodlight outside of the property to illuminate the place. This is where we were years ago as this mercury bulb, and we have moved away now from also using fluorescent bulbs to utilizing LED bulbs. So once again, the property continues to improve and to ensure that we are following market trends in terms of energy conservation. So this is what we are now utilizing. It makes very, very bright light, and this is where we are now. As we continue to highlight some of our best practices, this is actually another one of our initiatives, which is through partnership with Recycling Partners of Jamaica. This is a cage donated and dropped off by them, and also the contents are picked up by them. As soon as it gets filled up, we will communicate to them and they will come and pick up. So all plastic bottles, and the good thing is staff members also utilize this because they would come in with their bottles as well for disposal here. So it is a good initiative. We are trying to reduce how many plastics gets out there in the marine environment especially. So we continue to do this. A part of reducing our waste that is sent out to the dump sites is reusing or repurposing that waste, and this is what we have been doing with our peelings as well as our leaves and grass cuttings. So we would have incorporated that into our compost heap, and as you can see here, this compost heap is breaking down, very rich as well, very dark, rich material, and this now is incorporated within our herb garden to offer that organic manure that makes our plants thrive and look so healthy. So this is our compost heap. It's only materials that are used in it are peelings from our kitchens, from the hotel kitchen as well as the training lab, grass clippings and leaves. So, and this is left for 3 to 4 weeks to be broken down. It is watered because we need the moisture in order to aid in the decomposition rate. And when this is fully broken down, we would have removed it and incorporated it within our herb garden.
At Hart College of Hospitality Services, we believe that it starts with us, with each individual, and as such, we take protecting and taking care of our environment very seriously and place it at the top of our agenda. Have a good evening.
All right. So much information. We're getting information today. And I like how we would have changed the direction a little bit. We're getting information about what we're doing here at Heart. I love it. So now we have a bad jingle, you know. We have a jingle, we have a whole heap of energy. And so I'm going to let loose the energy. So this jingle is also from the Heart College of Hospitality Services. So I'm going to let you hear the jingle.
Across the green, the place to clean, a TVET, upon the scene. Across the green, the place to clean, a TVET, upon the scene. TVET transform in the future, a better future for me and them use it. The sea get cleaner, the grass get cleaner. A TVET, them upon the scene, yeah. Oh, that first up, a TVET, no, left you. From when the business is a look good, so a TVET, them I deal with the issue.
Let's go! Let's go! Let me see some fire emoji. Who wants some fire emoji, man? The thing hot. Our College of Hospitality Services on the thing hot. Let's go. Yeah, man, we love it, man. We love it, we love it, we love it, we love it. The container gardening, the recycling, we're doing things here at heart. We're not just talking, but we're action. And so I like the energy, I like where we're going as it relates to the theme, greening in TVET, and we are transforming the future right here at the Heart NSEH. Big up on yourself, Heart College of Hospitality Services, and thank you very much for that presentation, Miss Kenisha Walcott. So this time we're going to go to the organic farming. We're going to hear from Mr. Neil Curtis, Greening Initiative by Kenilworth Academy in collaboration with the Executive Director for the Farm Up Jamaica Limited. I am just excited. If you're excited, let me see your type excited in the chat. Come on. I'm not excited enough. I'm not feel what's happening enough. If you are excited, let me see you type excited in the chat. Let me go back chat. Let me go look. All right. I see the I see it coming up. All right. So tech team, ready to go?
Good morning.
All right. Okay. Mr. Curtis, I hear you, my brother.
Can you hear me?
Yes, man, and you sound good. We're loving your voice right now.
Technical problems here.
Oh, we're glad you're here, man. I'll turn over to you now.
All right. So, good morning, everyone. First and foremost, would like to thank you all for having me here. With all the technical difficulties that we had. But guess what? We are here and it's working, and that's the best part about it. Over the years, all right. I'm sorry, but I had to revert to a smaller device because for some reason. Are we still there? I'm so sorry.
We got a little nervous, Mr. Curtis, because you look like you're drop off.
No, man, it's not even nervous. It's that I'm not seeing. Can you see me now?
Not at all. See your name.
Just a second.
Yeah.
Having some technical issues here.
Okay. Technical problems all over.
Okay. Let's see what's wrong now. Okay. Sorry about that. Ah, boy.
That's all right, Mr. Curtis. Go ahead.
Anyway, I'd like to just acknowledge the Heart Trust NTA over at Ebony Park that we started this journey with back in 2014. And we've been working consistently with Heart Trust in many ways to continue that relationship. Most recently, we are working with Kenilworth. Over the course of those years, we trained up quite a few of the young people, because we believe that young people are the future of agriculture, because as you know, most of the older people are fading out, and we have to bring in these new people to actually do agriculture and transition them into what we call agri-entrepreneurs, so that they know that it is time to make money and to have families and carry out their lifestyle as a farmer. But we have to show what farming means in 2023, right? So our job is to try to make farming cool while upholding the whole idea of organic and regenerative agriculture. Let's get right into the presentation, if I can do that. Just hold a second. Uh-oh. Screen is messing up again. All right, hold on. Just a second.
Mr. Curtis, that looks fine, man. Right there is good. That's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. I'm just gonna share. All right. Just tell me you're seeing this.
Yes, man. We're seeing it, sir.
Okay. All right. So, of course, organic farming, eliminating your carbon as your enemy, right? And this is basically going to talk about some processes that we can all do across the board to grow food and reduce the carbon at the same time. So the first thing about organic farming is the people. The people is everything. Without the people, you cannot do agriculture at all, whether it be chemical or organic. And so when we talk about organic, we call it regenerative agriculture, because the first thing we think about is our people, right? And as Hartrust can tell you, we are always so enthused and interested in putting young people back into agriculture. We've been targeting for the last 10 years the Gen Z community, right? That community that is in many cases more interested in agriculture or organic or greening, if you want to call it that. And so we've been working with them. We've worked with hundreds of Hartrust students to date. And again, the Gen Z is what we want to do. We want to use people to replace machinery, right? So that will call for us to unite, right? And bring people together. So we talk about replacing heavy equipment with people power. And you know, I'll show you a bit more of what that means. The soil, very important. So when you talk about greening and you talk about doing organic agriculture, which we call regenerative agriculture, you want to wake up the soil. That's what it's all about. It's about getting the microbes and everything alive. How do we do that? We don't change the structure of the soil, right? But we will use things to inspire the protection of the soil. Or we may, in many cases, when you talk about reducing greenhouse gases, we would even reduce the usage or eliminate the usage of things like in the soil, manure. We don't use manure at Farm Up Jamaica. And we don't use any chemical fertilizers, right? But we may use things like, when we fertilize, we may use things like kelp, or which is seaweed fermented. And we have different formulas that we've come up with to be able to do those things. Carbon mitigation is going to, you have to have things in place to mitigate carbon. So some people believe that just doing organic farming can mitigate carbon, but if you're using manure, and manure ultimately becomes methane gas, and certain things that you may put in it may break down to increase the carbon footprint. So many people actually believe that organic farming in itself is reducing the carbon footprint. But the truth is that we have a way to go. The technology is changing, and I think that we're actually leading the way in a lot of that type of changing technology for carbon sequestration and creating the soil as a carbon sink instead of a carbon emitter. Water, very important. And so what we've also learned over the last 10 years is that we have learned how to conserve water so that water is staying at the root level, right? So when we do all of our agricultural practices, we will mulch, right? Which is going to also help to protect the moisture of the soil. But also in the soil itself, we've come up with soil mixtures that will help to maintain the moisture at the root level. Right now, we have pineapple over at Kenilworth. And I tell you, we don't have much water at that location. And for the first, let me think, about 3 or 4 weeks, we had no water at all, meaning just straight drought. And we were able to maintain wonderful looking watermelons, pumpkins, pineapples, string beans, because the moisture was staying in the soil at the root level and allowing the crops to grow, although we are experiencing significant climate change issues at the same time. So yeah, we're working, and that's why we call it regenerative climate smart agriculture, right? That's what we have branded this new technique that we've been doing. And again, reducing the carbon footprint, conserving on water resources, and making it work even if you are in a drought or have trouble during climate change. And then, of course, the carbon and how we don't use the pesticides, right? So the not using the pesticides, not using herbicides, not using the chemical fertilizers, which also just reduces the emission of greenhouse gases. You know, or the regenerative technique is also a no-till technique where we don't really till the ground to release the carbons back into the atmosphere. And using those no-till regenerative practices, very important. Other thing is logistics, finding local markets so we don't have to send this clear across the country, right? Local hotels in good close proximity to where we are farming to purchase our produce, our local supermarkets, and trying to farm within that region so we don't end up burning a ton of fuel back into the atmosphere, creating more greenhouse gases, of course. And so we believe that we have a complete ecosystem because it includes the people. And what we want to do here is reconnect humans to nature, and connect a lot of our partners that we have outside of the ecosystem, right? Because, you know, we figure that because we're a diaspora organization, we want to bring people back from the United States side. So you might, like last year, we brought about 300 tourists back with us to Kenilworth to plant pineapple. And they all came and enjoyed themselves with 1 day of service, where I actually think we had 2 days of service. So we had two days where we actually brought in 300 guests from overseas, and they helped farmers to plant this pineapple side by side. We worked with students. We worked with people from the I think they call it NS. What is it? NS National. I can't remember the name, but I guess that's the young people that are not necessarily in heart, but don't have jobs and what have you. And we worked with them also, and they were able to be inspired by seeing that agriculture is not just a dirty job. And people from even around the world want to be involved. People brought their children and were able, you know, we had a wonderful day. Much thanks to Mr. Brown and Mr. Clark for allowing us to be able to carry out that wonderful excursion. And Hart also enjoyed in that. They were able to cook and use the students to do their, show off their culinary work, and also to teach them the hospitality at the same time because they were dealing with visitors. So it was a very good experience, and I think that more experiences like that can help to inspire young people to want to be in agriculture. Because right now, many times, people in agriculture just think that it's a dirty trade. And, you know, a lot of the young people may not want to get involved. But, you know, we're here at Farm Up Jamaica to work with heart at any time, at any location, to bring these types of things. And we need to make it widespread. So, you know, I mean, when we went to Kenilworth is not necessarily a agricultural facility, but we were able to work with them also. So we can work with different heart locations all over the island. And we would love to spread this to the new agri-entrepreneurs, as we call them. And as someone was speaking about earlier about the food waste. So when we actually sell our produce to these hotels, we would ask that they exchange that back for food wastes so that we can take those food wastes and compost them and end up putting them back in the ground to help rebuild soil without increasing the carbon footprint. I can stop sharing here. I'm learning about this new WebEx. I'm so sorry. I'm so used to like the Zoom platform. So sorry about that if my technical difficulties made this uncomfortable. But I would just say that, you know, organic is the way. If you go abroad, people want organic food to eat, and even locally. When we were able to put organic food in the local supermarkets, the owners of the supermarkets noticed that although the food was selling for a higher price, people were gravitating and buying that food first before even the cheaper food. So people would love to have the great organic food available to them. So we realize that the market needs it also. Again, just big up to all of the team at Kenilworth that's been working with us. I'm not so averse because my team is down on the ground there. I am in there. I probably know a couple of the names, Mr. Brown, Mr. Clark, and I think you have some other gentlemen men down there that I just can't recall the names, but work with them on a general basis. So sorry about that. But yeah, I really, again, would love to thank you guys. Heart has been very instrumental. They have partnered with us on this journey. In fact, that last Kenilworth deal that we did, we actually partnered with Heart Trust out of Kingston, who came on board and was actually had funding and things also involved. So you can see that Heart Trust is very serious as it relates to reducing the carbon footprint. And we have to say that we've had a good run with Heart Trust, and we look forward to working with you guys continually. My name is Neil Curtis, Farm Up Jamaica. Thank you.
All right, can I see the hand clapping emojis? Can I see them going up? Mr. Curtis.
Yes, sir.
You will now have to ask a question. We're giving away some gifts, some prizes.
Yes.
But the team online has to answer a question from the presenter. So based on your presentation, I want you to put together a question and ask the team. And let me tell you now, you can ask a hard question, because we're bright over here, you know.
Very bright.
And listen to your presentation, you would have worked with the heart team before, so you know our level as it relates to intellect. Yes. So I am now asking you to ask a good question to the team. Let's go.
Okay. Very simple, but hard. What is the most important part of agriculture, of organic agriculture?
I mentioned several.
I mentioned several, and I must ask, what is the most important part of the agricultural structure?
All right, the most important part of the agricultural structure. All right, team.
Based on my presentation.
All right, Davian Borland at the style. I am seeing reducing carbon footprints. You have to choose the winner now, you know.
I'm
from
watching.
the
None of them have gotten it yet.
What about the non-use of chemicals?
Hello.
Pauline Fullerton got it.
Oh, people.
People.
All right. Let's go, Pauline Fullerton. All right. All right. I wanted to ask another question. I feel like we can give away something else. Give me one more question.
One more question.
Things coming in and see Miss Grant, less machine, more people. That's it. Think
Yeah,
that's in
that's
line with the people. Yeah.
Okay. What was a way to help reduce the carbon footprint? What was one of the ways that I said that we could reduce the carbon footprint without nothing to do with actually farming? What were one of the outside ways of? Okay,
hey,
that was one.
exchange waste for produce. Let's go. Miss Grant is on. All right, I see Miss Foster, RSA logistics.
Logistics, that's right.
Yeah.
All of those are right.
All right, so Miss.
No tilling of the soil.
Those names, no.
Oh, no soil.
Miss Grant and oh boy, they're coming up. We're gonna use Miss Grant. We have Miss Foster. We have Miss Pauline Fullerton. We'll stop at those three. All right. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, man. It was a pleasure, man. I know the team truly appreciates the presentation made, and I'm sure the content that you would have delivered will impact how we go forward and how we treat with vocational studies as it relates to agriculture. So big up yourself, bro.
And I thank you so much. And again, we look forward to continually working with Heart Trust. And you know, we love you guys.
Yes, man. Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day now, sir.
You too now.
All right, Team Heart. We're going down. We're down to the last video presentation. And listen, I am excited. Hold on, no man, tech team. Oh, yeah, move ahead of me. Now, everybody knows that Ebony Park. Now, everybody knows what's going on. Now, everybody knows there's straight fire coming up. It is going to be awesome. The next presentation coming in from Region 6, my region. And guess what? Ebony Park is in Clarendon. And I am the parish manager for Clarendon, so you know I'm even more excited. Always representing, always ready to go. At this time, we're going to see what Ebony Park is doing. The presentation is entitled Converting Waste, Stimulating Taste, while maximizing space. My God, we're going to turn it into a song. Converting waste, stimulating taste, while maximizing space. Maximizing space. Let's go, let's go. What know about Ebony Park when Mr. We talk? Let's go, let's go. Hey, man, I'm giving too much talent. All right, so watch me now. We're ready for your video? We'll put it together, man. You see how the video are good? The tech team also make me look back on it one more time before we play it. So they're looking, all right. See, it's coming up now. All right, so let's hear from the Ebony Park Academy. Let's go.
Great morning, everyone. Welcome to the Heart NXPA Trust Ebony Park Academy, where we focus on agriculture and hospitality-based programs. Today, I am wearing green. Why am I wearing green? No, it's not what you think. I am wearing green because I am here as an advocate and in support of the Greening in TVET webinar. Today, on this journey, we'll take you through all the activities that the Ebony Park Academy has been doing to showcase greening in a very real and positive way. We are looking at eliminating waste, optimize taste, and maximizing space. Journey with me as we go along throughout this webinar.
Today we are looking at composting. What composting is, how beneficial it is to agriculture and in the general greening process of agriculture, what it means and how it is useful for us, for the environment in general. So what compost is really is the end result of decomposing organic materials, such as animal waste, grass, scraps from your food, and it could be from table waste or from harvested materials. So what happens is that what we have here is one of the simple structures that is used for composting. In this system, the basic principle is aerobic decomposing. And by aerobic, what it means is that the decomposition is taking place in the presence of oxygen. Why is the oxygen important? The decomposition is done by different types of bacteria, different types of funguses, different types of organisms that are living in the soil, living in the organic materials that we put in. All of those materials are alive and does require some amount of oxygen, between 5 to 10% oxygen, in order to survive and carry out the processes. And so that's what is happening here. If you take a look on the inside, you will see that we have layers of different organic materials. What we're looking at, the green stuff, is pretty much the tomato plant. So after harvesting the tomatoes, what is remaining is the plant, and it's no longer useful, and so we repurpose the plant remains by adding it to our compost, adding our chicken litter or cow dung, goat dung, rabbit dung, and we add everything right here. It is going to become this very useful compost in another 2 to 3 months. The structure itself is made from wood, and of course we have some plastic. Why do we have the plastic covering? The plastic covering is pretty much to ensure that we have a proper heating up. So we need the compost, in order for it to happen and happen quickly, we need a temperature of about 55-60 degrees. So the UV plastic is going to help to build that heat up under the compost pit so that our decomposition can start and continue. Our bacteria and different types of microorganisms pretty much thrive at higher temperatures. So the higher temperature is, you don't want to exceed 65 degrees. So up to 65 degrees, the organisms are going to multiply rapidly. And so the more microorganisms you have, the faster your decomposition will be. However, if you cause or do not monitor your oxygen flow and your humidity, you're going to cause the temperatures to rise like 65 going up to 70. And what will happen at that point is that the organisms are going to start dying out. You really don't want that to happen either, because that's going to change the type of composting that you're doing. So there are basically 2 different types, aerobic and anaerobic. So the anaerobic is where it's going to be fermenting in a different state that's without oxygen, and that's the kind of compost that really tend to have really high stench. And this is an environment that people work in, so we do not want it to become, really foul smelling. So yeah, that's pretty much composting. And so how does it relate to green agriculture? It's pretty much making sure that the activities that we are doing as agriculturists, as farmers, as general citizens who have some amount of environmental awareness, we try to make sure that we utilize as best as possible organic materials and then repurpose them into compost so that we can now send it back into the environment in a nutrified way, as opposed to just becoming random waste. It becomes useful. So we can take our kitchen waste, take our animal waste, and whatever crop residues we have, and use it usefully. When we have our young people enriched with the knowledge of what we do with compost and how important it is, then we are treading a good path to making sure that we are greening in agriculture. So once our compost is finished and it is fully decomposed and it is now nice and humus and ready for use, what we do with it?
We put it close to the plant so the plants can get nutrients from it and grow healthy.
Beautiful. So I'm telling you, agriculture is really good. It's very diverse, and it's just composting. It's just one of those many ways that as citizens, as agriculturists, we can add some value to our environment. Here we are. These are our environmental turners. They keep it moving.
Good afternoon. Romain Gardner here, instructor at Ebony Park Academy here in Polegate, Clarendon. Right now we are carrying out a research project and we're looking at urban gardening. We think it's an important and a critical aspect in terms of bringing more light to sustainable agriculture. And sustainable agriculture means that we infuse or integrate more practices for some of our urban areas. We have some of our urban areas in the metropolitan areas such as Kingston and St. Andrew, and what we're doing is trying to examine some of our practices that we would infuse in terms of fertilizer application. And what here we have in our research is 2020, we're going to use 2020 fertilizer, which is NPK, 20% N, 20% P, and 20% K. So it's our normal fertilizer we use in farming practices. And we're going to compare that against using eggs, which has a lot of calcium base, and also rice water. We're going to do that. For today, we have already applied some rice water, so you won't get to see that, but we can see the application of the 2020 fertilizer. Also, we're looking at it on a landscape of our normal rooftops, where you will have the zinc-based rooftop, and also, but we have our decking rooftop. So we have normally have decks and we have our zinc rooftop. So we're using two aspects of it. So here, right now, we have some of our plants. Right here, we have about some crops. We have sweet pepper, tomato, some cucumbers starting to grow, Scotch bonnet pepper and cabbage. So we have some of that as well. And then we're going to compare it against some of those plants over this side here. So pak choy and similar crops over this side as well. So we're keeping our normal rooftop, and we're also going to be having our deck rooftop. Right, so right here, we're examining, we're going to measure the growth rate of it. So we're going to measure the leaves, the number of leaves. We're also going to measure the height on a weekly basis. That will give us, is it better than using your eggshells or some of your household items? Because you're going to be in some areas that it's easier to just use back some of these items so that you don't have to be spending a lot of money sometimes on fertilizer, which can be very costly.
Alright, so this is the 2020 MPK fertilizer, and this is a water soluble fertilizer. This is the fertilizer that we'll be using to water our plants. Right? So this is a watering can, and this is a half-gallon watering can. So to do half-gallon watering can, we're gonna use half a teaspoon of 2020 fertilizer to the half-gallon can. Ensure that we fill the can right up, because if the 2020 fertilizer is too much in the water, it will burn our plants. So we have to ensure that it's exact.
So some of the plants that here Mr. Bell is applying the water, the fertilizer to. This is for more of our decking type. So we're applying just the fertilizer to these crops here on the right, on my right. And then we have already applied some of our rice water and some of the eggshells to these plants over here. So do you have an ideal comparison while we're measuring them?
So because the plants are placed on the roof, we have to ensure that we soak the soil, because the sun will dry out the containers very fast.
Yeah, very quickly. So we want to ensure there's adequate moisture that the plants will have enough of.
All right, all right, all right. Let me see you putting your hands together. I see the hand clapping emojis going up. I told you, I told you that presentation would be something special. You know what I really love about today is that most of the presentations that are made, you can see where the Heart NSTA Trust is actively involved in some of the areas that fall under this new green economy or greening in TVET. When you think about Jagas and you think about the programs that we would have started as it relates to the electric vehicles that we now have, you see that Heart is moving in the right direction. When you think about the Ebony Park Academy that just presented, and you think about the organic practices that we are now incorporating into our training and our training methodologies, you also realize that we are moving in the right direction. And if there was ever a time for us to incorporate these practices, it is now. Thank you very much, Ebony Park from Clarendon, Region 6. You don't know, much respect to the team. So we would have gone through the presentations, and now we're going to do our evaluation. So if you check in the chat, there's a link that was posted by Mr. Robert Green. Just click on that link and just fill out the questionnaire that will pop up, that we can have some feedback on this particular activity and the presentations that were made. All right, so the link is there. Click on the link and ensure that you do the evaluation. Now, I've often heard that all good things must come to an end, and we are now at the end of our webinar. When I was in university and I was learning to write, we used to do a lot of writing. You know, you have to do your oral communication and your all of those programs, and we were taught that in your introductory paragraph and your closing paragraph, you must bring back the topic and you must bring back the thesis. And so, like I started, I will end. I want to thank you for attending this Greening in TVET webinar under the theme, Greening in TVET, Transforming the Future. I want to thank all our presenters. We want to thank Ms. Heather Pinnock. We want to thank Mr. Markland Murphy. We want to thank Ms. Bethune Morgan. We want to thank the team from the Hart College of Hospitality Services, led by Ms. Kenisha Walcott, the environmental officer, and she's also an instructor. We want to thank the team who collaborated with the executive director from Farm Up Jamaica, Mr. Neil Curtis, the team from Kenilworth, for that collaboration and that brilliant presentation. And finally, we want to thank the Ebony Park Academy for that wonderful presentation. Big up to you, Mr. Wees and team. Of course, I want to thank the technical team that are right here in-house assisting. They did a great job. Some of my video them take longest, I'm not going to tell no lie. But we're not going to hold that against the team. You know, we want to thank them for the work that they did behind the scenes. I also, Mr. Green, who came to pray, and his responsibilities expanded along the way. So that we learn how to rhyme. He also joined the technical team in assisting in ensuring that this program flowed well. And of course, the team from the Capacity Development and Consultancy, the hard-working team that made capacity building, Jesus peace, it's a very talk all type of things, that made this activity happen. You know, I want to just thank them for the work that they did in organizing, putting the program together, getting all the speakers for the program. You know, I just want to say big up. And of course, I want to say big up to the Heart NSTA Trust Uno thing, big and loud. Don't forget it. I know sometimes we're discouraged. Sometimes we feel, you know, when the issues come, sometimes we feel like we can't go forward in many instances, but we are going forward and we are pushing in the right direction. And this green activity, greening in TVET, transforming the future, represents who we are and where we are going as a nation to develop this economy. As we close this program, I was looking in the chat and I saw where persons were asking for the jingle. Them said they want to hear from Hart College of Hospitality Services again. So you don't know, we're going to let Hart College of Hospitality Service out of the box, and we're going to let the jingle play as we close. Thank you very much for joining this webinar. We truly appreciate it. We truly appreciate you and your impact on developing the human capital of this country. God bless you and have a wonderful afternoon. Take care.
The grass is green, the place is clean, a TVET, the pond is seen. The grass is green, the place is clean, a TVET, the pond is seen. TVET, transforming the future, a better future for me and them youths. The sea get clean and the grass get greener. A TVET, them the pond is seen. Oh, that first so a TVET, don't know the man left you. From one to the places that look good so. A TVET, them I deal with the issue. The grass is green, the place is clean, a TVET, the pond is seen. The grass is green, the place is clean, a TVET, the pond is seen. TVET, transforming the future, a better future for me and them youths. The sea get clean and the grass get greener. A TVET, them the pond is seen. Oh, that first so a TVET, don't know the man left you. From one to the places that look good so. A TVET, them I deal with the issue. The grass is green, the place is clean, a TVET, the pond is seen. The grass is green, the place is clean, a TVET, the pond is seen. TVET, transforming the future, a better future for me and them youths. The sea get clean and the grass get greener. A TVET, them the pond is seen. Oh, that first so a TVET, don't know them not left you. From what did the place just a look good so. A TVET, them I deal with the issue.